Get ready for The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's dedicated update show. Events, businesses, and people. Anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to The Splash Live.
Hello and welcome to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. Dayan, good morning to you.
Good morning, Tyler.
Yeah, glad to have you and have all of you watching with us on this beautiful Tuesday morning in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Let's go through all the different places you can find us each and every day as you're tuning in to the Splash Live at 8:30. Comcast on channel 15 and AT&T on channel 99. You can also find us on the web in high definition on Civic Center TV. Find us on social media in places like Facebook on facebook.com/Civic Center TV 15 and on YouTube, same handle basically, YouTube at Civic Center TV. You can also listen to us on the radio as you're heading into work this morning and every morning on your commute on 89.3 Lakes FM. Take your FM dial, tune in to 89.3 FM, and you'll find us every single morning right here on the Splash Live. Now let's take a look at how things are going to look outside today and throughout the next couple of days in our community. Diane, take a look at the weather.
It's a very pleasant day today, Tyler. So we got a high of 87 and a low of 68. It's partly cloudy, but it's nevertheless very beautiful. I hope everybody enjoyed their morning ride as much as I did today. For Wednesdays, we got the highs of 90. It's going to be a little bit warmer with the lows of 71. And Thursdays, 91 with a low of 73.
That is a good look at the weather so far this week. Sunny, a little bit of rain yesterday, but looking like it's still going to be very hot, and some other rain still in the forecast for later on in the week, but nonetheless, a lot of nice outside so far. Take a look at today's headlines on the Splash Live. Progress is being made on Orchard Lake Road in Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and the city of Orchard Lake Village. We'll take a look at the latest and run through how that continues to affect the Tri-Cities at this time. Then the West Bloomfield Police Department Foundation and Union has delivered donations to many local nonprofits. We'll talk about which ones of those nonprofits in our local area did receive those funds and some of what they do to help out in our community. Also, be on the lookout for a macaw that a West Bloomfield family has lost. Their beloved pet went missing on the 4th of July weekend. We'll talk about that story and how you can help them bring their beloved macaw home. The DIA is placing replicas of historic art pieces all throughout southeastern Michigan. That began yesterday. We'll tell you all the different places here in Oakland County that you can see some of these art pieces in the flesh. Then later on in the show, we'll talk to West Bloomfield Parks Recreation Programmer Brittany Trout about the remaining summer events happening over the next several weeks, preview what's going on in the fall, and talk about the brand new location for West Bloomfield Parks Connect. Later on, Dayan Chaaban will tell you about a high school graduate in Berkeley whose sculpture is taking center stage at Berkeley's brand new Art Space Plaza. We'll also talk to Joanie Toole from Oakland County's Animal Shelter and Pet Adoption Center about all different ways you can get your dog vaccinated against rabies for free. How can you get access to that service, as well as all the other services and opportunities for volunteerism and more at the Oakland County Animal Shelter and Pet Adoption Center. Then later on, near the end of the show, we'll talk about a special air show coming to one of the busiest airports in the state of Michigan, Oakland County International Airport over there in the Pontiac and Waterford area. That's all of what's coming up on today's edition of The Splash Live. We'll get into all that after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching and listening to The Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Like what you see? Beautiful works of art, masterworks of metal, and accomplishments of artistry will be on display near you. All kinds of artists from all walks of life come together to celebrate their skill and appreciate their work's beauty. Hot Works presents the 2023 Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Stop by July 29th and 30th between 2 and 10 p.m. between Powers and Daly off of Orchard Lake Road.
When you have a gambling problem, you have a money problem. Don't let your gambling cause you financial hardship. If you or someone you love is struggling with gambling, we can help. Get free confidential counseling and win your life back. Learn more at michigan.gov/problemgambling. Many people are feeling overwhelmed and struggling with mental wellness these days. So be kind to your mind. Give yourself permission to breathe. Share your feelings. You are not alone. Have hope. Talk to a Stay Well counselor for free confidential help 24/7 through the COVID-19 hotline.
And now, back to the Splash, live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft, alongside Dayan Chaaban. Let's get into what's making headlines throughout our community today. A top story continues to be in our local area, the construction on Orchard Lake Road, affecting really 3 out of our 4 communities. But if you think about the detours as well, it is making an impact all throughout the Greater West Bloomfield community. On your screen, you're seeing a picture we got from Facebook from Bob Miller, who I believe is working on that construction, part of the team on that construction team, getting a picture. This location is Orchard Lake Road, just before Commerce Road, just north of Commerce Road. You can see in the background there on the left, upper left side, the Early Bird Cafe. And the big story here with this picture is that one of the lanes of Orchard Lake Road going into Keego Harbor out of West Bloomfield and the Orchard Lake border area is completely out. They've removed the concrete in that area. They have put construction cones there to indicate the elevation change between the 2 lanes. And keep in mind, this lane that has been removed, that is normally the northbound lane. At this moment in time, it continues to be, that's normally the southbound lane. At this point in time, it's currently being served as that particular lane is currently, of course, not in use at this time. And the opposite lane that would typically be the northbound lane is the southbound lane coming from Orchard Lake Road around the Cass Lake and Middle Belt section. So they switched to the other side of the road, removing that portion. I would presume when they get through this, repave that road, get that all set, get that marked and all ready to go, that they will then do the same on the other side of the road. But nonetheless, a great show of progress on Orchard Lake Road being made early on this week as they continue that construction. It's going to go on for the next several months. The complete project on Orchard Lake Road and Commerce Road, rebuilding that Orchard Lake corridor in the Greater West Bloomfield community, is expected to be complete around October. Portions of this project should be complete in the next few weeks. We know that Commerce Road is going to be opening up several weeks before Orchard Lake does in full, so at least some relief is on its way. If you want the latest details on this, the best place to go for that is on our website on civiccentertv.com. Check out our on-demand page where we recently spoke to Craig Bryson from the Road Commission for Oakland County to get the full scope of this project and also the latest updates on where they're at in this project, including where they're going to be working this week and next week and what sort of progress you can expect to see out on Orchard Lake Road very soon. We'll get a crew out there also this week to get even more updates, get some more video from across that corridor, and make sure that we're giving you the latest information and showing you what's going on, especially if you're avoiding that area at this time. But Dayan, bringing Dayan Chaaban back in, whether or not you are driving through that on a day-to-day basis, it's important to still go through that area at certain times of the day, especially to patronize some of our local businesses in that area. And from all indications we've had so far, during those choke point portions of the day, the morning rush and the afternoon drive, it's been relatively light out there, although still much slower speeds due to the construction.
Yes, and that's exactly what why I was a little bit late today. It is very, very jammed, but it's okay because our roads are getting better, and this is the only time to do it. As Craig Bryson mentioned, this is the only time in Michigan to do these kind of road construction, and it's just to ensure our safety. So there's a lot going on, and we should support them. I know it's annoying. It's annoying going to work with all that jam, but it is what it is.
And once this construction is complete in the next couple weeks and in some portions in the next couple of months for the entire project, it's going to make Orchard Lake Road a lot less of a headache in the long run. So the short-term pain for a long-term gain here in West Bloomfield Township, Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, and Keego Harbor, especially in the Tri-Cities most heavily affected by this construction. If you learned anything from Diane's commute this morning, got to give a little bit more time to get in, because that construction, especially during the morning rush and during the afternoon drive as you're heading home, going to be a little bit more delayed than usual. Across town, some good news with the West Bloomfield Police Foundation and the West Bloomfield Police Union as they delivered donations to local nonprofits earlier on this week. You see in the picture there in the middle, Officer James Pettinato from the West Bloomfield Police Department delivering a $1,000 check for a donation to Care House of Oakland County on Monday. That is a local child advocacy center that focuses on intervention services for families and with children in distress for a number of different reasons or a number of different factors, as well as preventative services to prevent a child from being in an endangerment or a neglect situation, working with parents, working with families, working with the kids to keep children in our local area in their homes and prevent any issues. In addition, the West Bloomfield Police Foundation and the West Bloomfield Police Union also made donations to several other local nonprofits and charities in our local area. Alana's Foundation, which focuses on education and also free vaccinations against the seasonal flu, received a donation. So did Haven, a domestic violence and sexual assault prevention and intervention service in Oakland County. MI Cops, or Michigan Concerns of Police Survivors, receiving a donation as well. That's an organization that particularly focuses on providing services and counseling to families of those who have lost an officer in the line of duty. And then finally, Blessings in a Backpack, a food insecurity-based organization here in our local community that includes right here in the West Bloomfield School District providing meals in backpacks to kids all throughout the school year so that they're not going hungry as they go home if they're in a situation of a less fortunate situation and don't have reliable meals day to day guaranteed at home, which so many of us take for granted. So a big thank you to the West Bloomfield Police Foundation and the Police Union here in our local community for helping out many of these nonprofits. You see the big happy smiles there from our friends over at Care House of Oakland County. A couple more stories to get to after this short break, and then coming up, we'll talk to Brittany Trout at West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation about all their upcoming programs the rest of this summer, what's going on in the fall, and we'll take a look at the new location of West Bloomfield Parks Connect. That's all coming up over the next few minutes. Stay tuned. You're watching and listening to The Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important.
And now the same is true in the face of flu.
Influenza has the power to infect millions.
But it's easy to protect yourself, your family, and your community.
The flu vaccine is safe and effective. And with COVID-19 still around,
It's essential. Together we can face flu season head on.
Visit michigan.gov/flu.
Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Ronnie started doing prescription pills at the age of 15, and by 19, he died. If your child is struggling with drug use, try not to be too proud to reach out for help. Don't be worried about what the neighbor will think or your family. Just get your child the help they need. Sometimes it's the hard road to take, but the hard road is nothing compared to living with the fact that your child is no longer with you.
There's hope and help at drugfree.org.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. You can always join us Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to right around 1 o'clock for live news and information each and every day, updating you on everything going on in the Greater West Bloomfield community, as well as expanding out into Oakland County as well. It's the most fun season of the year here in the Greater West Bloomfield community, as we are in the thick of the summer season, as we're heading toward the fall season with plenty of more fun ahead. And joining us to preview some of the fun events and other happenings in the Greater West Bloomfield community is Brittany Trout, Recreation Programmer at West Bloomfield Parks. Brittany, thanks for being with us this morning.
Hi guys, thank you for having me.
Yeah, glad to have you on, as there's a lot going on. It's been a busy summer already for West Bloomfield Parks, and still continuing to be over the next several weeks as we wrap up the summer season and head straight into fall. One of the hallmark events of this summer is of course, the Marshbank Music Series. Off to a strong start, finally, after the weather gave us some relief last week getting that started. A few more weeks of that coming up, and some exciting shows happening at Marshbank Park every Wednesday, Brittany.
Yes, we definitely were a little shaken to start off our first one with having to cancel, unfortunately, but mark your calendars, because August 9th, Collision 6 is back, and we do have a rain day, and that's what it's there for. This Wednesday, we have Detroit Society coming out to hang with us, and the time frame is 5:30 till 8:30. So you want to get there between 4:30 and 5 to get parked, and then food trucks are rocking and rolling at 5:30. And then we have our live music going on at 6 to enjoy the rest of the night and knock on some wood somewhere, but the weather's looking in our favor for tomorrow. So again, that's at Marshbank Park, and we'll be there the following two Wednesdays to enjoy some more music for the summer.
And you talk about food trucks. They're coming into the town every single Tuesday. Food Truck Tuesday is continuing on and has been going on all throughout the summer. For those that aren't familiar, want to get a quick meal and maybe even meet some people that are running the different departments of the township every single day. Tell us about Food Truck Tuesdays, Brittany.
Yeah, Food Truck Tuesdays have been a hit. They've grown thanks to the township and having them plan it. We actually have a new area that is between the library and the Recreation Activity Center, where we have a tent up and then some gravel laid with picnic tables. And then we typically have a coffee truck along with a food truck there. So if you guys come into the Civic Center Plaza, you can come enjoy the food and grab a coffee. And like Tyler said, we do have a lot of our board and other friends out there you can say hi to and kind of meet who is working in the township.
Brittany Trout joins us from West Bloomfield Parks on today's edition of The Splash Live, where she serves as a recreation programmer, one of the many people behind each and every one of these fun events all throughout the year in West Bloomfield. More information on West Bloomfield Parks events, as well as ways you can participate, can be found on wbparks.org. And Brittany, as we're getting toward the end of the summer season and we're heading toward the fall, a lot of people doing another seasonal cleaning of their home, getting rid of some things, looking to get some things out of their home and reorganize a little bit. A great opportunity to do that here in a few weeks, August 5th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Recreation Activity Center. Another community garage sale happening in West Bloomfield Township.
Yes, you said it, Tyler. Mark that on your calendar. If you're not going to participate to sell, come out and shop. This is a great way here at WB Parks. We are taking onus on our green initiatives, and we would love to have the community participate in that. This is our second garage sale of this time period. We moved them around to be better suited for the weather, and therefore we have definitely picked the right time to have these with the better weather. So as Tyler said, that is Saturday, August 5th at the Recreation Activity Center, and 8 to 2. Please come out and join. If you're interested in selling, check out our website or call our front office at 248-451-1900. We have a few more spots left, so we'd love to fill her up.
And it's an exciting day to get out there and meet some people in the community, maybe help clean out your home. You can participate as a seller. You can also go there and buy some things too, do some thrifting right in the community and meet some of your neighbors. A great opportunity for that. But Brittany, what people love about West Bloomfield Parks, about the actual parks themselves, are really about the township as a whole. It's all the great opportunities for people to get out in nature every single day and enjoy the natural areas in West Bloomfield Township. And there's plenty going on every single week, or even in the weeks coming up, for people that want to explore nature with people from West Bloomfield Parks and their neighbors. And these are events for all different ages as well.
Yeah, definitely. You can check out our website. We do have our nature room open hours, and those are held at specific times and days. So make sure to check out our website or call our front desk. And then too, we have our little hikers. So that one, you get to go on a hike and you get to hang out with a naturalist, and they'll point out different things along the trail. So it's a great way to be active along with adding some learning in, and no better way to spend it than out on a trail, and you'll most likely see some furry friends along the way.
Yeah, and there's also opportunities for adults too to get out on the trails with people from West Bloomfield Parks and with each other also. The trails, also one of the beloved parks areas in West Bloomfield Township. Brittany Trout is with us from West Bloomfield Parks on today's edition of The Splash Live. Again, more information on all their programs out on the trails can be found on wbparks.org. And Brittany, I love this picture because we're seeing people in the community exploring the West Bloomfield Trail, but also getting a lot of information that they may otherwise not get from individuals working with West Bloomfield Parks directly.
Correct. I mean, I've been here for coming 6 years, and there's not a time that we don't go on a hike with our naturalists and we learn something from them. So they're an avenue that never ends with information.
And what's been great about the parks, the trails of late over the last couple of years, a lot of updates have been done to the trails to provide more information to the community, more amenities also to the community, and to update some of what people have been seeing out on those trails. Those continue on, have been continuing on this summer to make that a more enjoyable experience. And going back to that picture, Calvin, we can put that back up. I know that's a relatively new sign that they've put up there maybe in the last year or two, really revamping the information we're providing to the community as well out on these trails and really all throughout the parks.
Yeah, that was installed probably about 3 years ago now, and that was a big project, but super helpful. And that's taken place at Arrowhead. So behind there is our nature preserve, which is a great walk. It's around 2 miles if you do it, and it's hilly, there's gravel. We just don't allow any motorized vehicles back there, but that is right off of our Arrowhead trail start, where you can enjoy the path for biking, walking, and jogging and such on the main that's attached to the airline trail. And as far as park projects, at Arrowhead, we'll also be installing bathrooms with a refillable drinking station. So that's all in the works, and there is a sign up there that gives you more information when you visit about the placement of that. And we are also working on some hawk lights, which have been taken. We're doing those around Orchard, and we have 1 or 2 already installed, and then we're working on the third one. And hawk lights are there to help protect those walkers. We have a lot of busy traffic in our area, right? So the hawk lights are there to signal for the vehicles to stop, to let the pedestrians or bikers go who are trying to cross the road safely. So those are just a few. Yeah. Definitely, as Tyler said, give us a call or also look on our website to see what other updates we are doing. And as you know, just keep good weather in mind, because that's how we're able to get these projects taken care of.
Yeah, the trails, one of the many parks that are open all throughout the year and have access for people both in the West Bloomfield community and those visiting as well, or even walking in from connections to trails in other communities as well. wbparks.org, the place to go to find more information on all of the different trails and parks right here in West Bloomfield Township. Brittany, a lot going on in the summer season, but the fall season equally as busy for you and your team over at West Bloomfield Parks. Give us a sneak preview of what some of the things that you and your team are working on coming up this fall in West Bloomfield.
Absolutely. So for the fall, our registration online and via phone will open on August 7th. And then we will have guides out to families in our area within that week, the coming week, whenever the mail service is ready to deliver. But go ahead and hop online that day and you can see what all the activities and get registered for. A big staple in our community is our trick or treat trail. So that will be October 27th. And then we will also have our Heroes Breakfast, which we partner with Civic Center TV to help us do that. And that's a big community organization that we put on a breakfast for veterans and special guests. And then for our seniors, you want to make sure to check out because we'll be doing a senior newsletter release. And then with our Connect space being open, we have our grand opening on August 23rd. So make sure to check out to see when you can come by and you can see the new space in person, along with we'll have our October Fest for our seniors, which is put on by Sheila, and she does a great job, and that's a really fun time. And I believe that kind of gives you a good sneak preview. So really make sure to put that date for August 7th on your calendar to check out what programs we'll have in the fall.
WBparks.org, you can find a calendar of all of their events all throughout the year, and including those coming up in the fall, as well as get access to their fall guide if you're not able to get that in the mail or by other means. WBparks.org. Brittany Trout, recreation programmer with West Bloomfield Parks, is joining us on this morning's edition of the Splash Live. And you mentioned it, WB Parks Connect has a new location in West Bloomfield Township. It's been moved around a little bit over the last year or two after leaving the Orchard Mall. But this is one of the favorites now of West Bloomfield Parks programs for seniors in our community. They love all the activities to WB Parks Connect. So talk about this new location and how that kind of changes the game and brings WB Parks Connect back to where it really was intended to be here in our township, as a place for seniors to go, but also really a beacon for all these different opportunities and events for that class of our community.
Yeah, I'm not going to be shy about it. As you guys probably know, it was tough for our Connect members who had to go from a lovely space at the mall to come back to the Recreation Activity Center. That space is just a little small and not conducive to hold the programming that we were doing over at the Connect at the mall. So now that we were able to find a new location and a lot of hard work put in by our team and staff to get it up and running, we have done some soft openings with holding some classes there. Ping pong's been going on, and now we're getting into our rhythm and rhyme, and it's just been great to see that our staff has a home, which really means that we're able to do a better job for our seniors to come out and enjoy that programming and have a space that's truly theirs. We've known for many years that they show us interest and they need a space to properly enjoy what activities we can give them. So we are excited to be in this new space and to stay there for a while and to kind of get back into the groove. So we're embracing what little growing pains we might have, but at this point, those have kind of gone away as we have settled in. And then again, the open house will be August 23rd. So make sure if you haven't yet, come stop by and check out the new space.
And that is at the old location of the Pet Value Store in West Bloomfield Township. The address 33230 West 14 Mile Road in West Bloomfield Township. You can also get more information by calling 248-451-1900, 248-451-1900. And again, WBparks.org. If you scroll over Parks and Facilities, click on Connect Senior Center. That's also a place that you can read their senior newsletter and get access to that every single month online. WBparks.org. Brittany, before we let you go a couple more minutes, we're getting toward the end of the summer season. One of the favorites in our community over the summer for families is Lily Pad Springs. How much more time do people have to get out there with their family while the summer season continues on?
Yes, after Labor Day weekend is when we will close. So make sure to take in the good weather and go over and see that facility before it closes after the holidays. It is ran in sessions as well.
Don't ever say there's...
Were you? Okay, yes. We are ran in 3 sessions, and it's open Monday through Sunday with our sessions being 11 to 1, 1:30 to 3:30, and 4 to 6. And there are some late night ones as well. You will just want to make sure those are specific dates. So you can call our office or go to WBparks.org to check out when those dates are.
plenty of things going on. You can never say that there's not something going on in West Bloomfield Township. All you got to do is go over to West Bloomfield Parks' website at wbparks.org, look at their calendar, and you'll find something to do each and every day. Brittany, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. And check out our Pollinator Fest, too. That is happening August 27th, so it's at the end of summer, beginning of fall. So make sure to check that one out. That one is a really cool event.
Appreciate having you on, Brittany. All those events, you can find more information on them. Register for some of these events if you need to do so. wbparks.org. It's also the place to go to keep up to date on everything happening at West Bloomfield Parks Connect and their new location on West 14 Mile Road. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side, you'll have plenty of opportunities to meet more people in the community and check out not just a book, but somebody's story at West Bloomfield Township's public library. Plus, a family in West Bloomfield Township has lost their beloved pet, and they're looking to you, their neighbors, to help them bring their beloved bird home. We'll get to those stories next on the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back, everyone. We're back to the Splash Live. This is Dayan Chaaban alongside Tyler Kieft. So the West Bloomfield Library is set to host an event called the Human Library on August 12th. Now, this is inspired by actually checking out a book, but instead of checking out a book, you're actually checking out a human's life story. So you'll be sitting there with a human who has faced prejudice, bias, and stigma, and you'll be asking them all the questions you want to understand what they have been through, their life experiences. And this is a brilliant initiative done by the West Bloomfield Library, partnering with the Human Library Organization, which is an international nonprofit that uses dialogue to combat prejudice, to end stigma for these people. Because when you humanize these stories, when you understand these people's experiences, you are actually understanding them even more. You're empathizing with them, understanding how they got to be here, why they're doing this, and how did they actually go through life. So what do you think, Tyler? Don't you think that's an incredible, just an incredible event to be at?
It's one thing to hear these sorts of stories in the news or to read them in the newspapers or online on social media, and we see so much of this nowadays because so many different people of all different walks of life have a platform to tell these stories. But it's a lot different when you're seeing that raw emotion, when you're looking into someone's eyes and they're telling you about some of the most painful, some of the most joyous perhaps, some of the most uneasy, maybe even times of their life, and things that they're facing maybe even still today, or at the very least coping with still today. And that makes this so much more impactful. That makes these stories hit harder. And I think for a lot of people, What they don't get when they're arguing about these sorts of subjects, or they're arguing about the prejudices and the stereotypes and the stigmas in our society over social media, or just at the water cooler, or at a family gathering with people that they've had similar life experiences with. Usually they're taking their corner, they're making their arguments, and they're sticking to that. It's a lot different when you're having that back and forth with someone and you're realizing, I've had some similar experiences to this, and I can feel that empathy or that sympathy for what they've gone through. Now that kind of makes it hit home a little bit closer, and that's what I love about this, is that you have an opportunity to meet somebody new, have a conversation with them about their life, learn something new about your life even that you can take out into your day-to-day and make an impact on someone else. So a really beautiful story here, Dayan, and my favorite part of this is their slogan for the Human Library event, Unjudge Someone.
That is true. Understanding their stories, humanizing those people instead of numerifying them will help end the stigma and bias. I think it's also a beautiful experience for everybody who's attending this, whether you're the volunteer telling the story or the person hearing that story out. So I urge everybody to go there to the West Bloomfield Library. It's on August 12th. It's a free event. It's from 11 till 3 p.m. So I urge everybody to go and attend that event. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you go through the main entrance. It's directly to the right in their meeting room. And, of course, the friendly staff and our friends over at West Bloomfield, the West Bloomfield Township Public Library main branch will point you in the right direction on that day. It's free. It's open to everybody in the community. No registration is required, so mark your calendars for that. Already getting some buzz outside of our team here in the community, with Fox 2 also mentioning that on their website yesterday after we talked about it in the morning. Also making news in West Bloomfield Township this week, a really interesting story from the Detroit Free Press's Neil Rubin we mentioned earlier on in the week. West Bloomfield residents Ari Drisman and Gabby Aharonov are looking for their beloved pet macaw, Cachette. You're seeing him on the screen right now. Cachette is a 7-year-old macaw, and that's relatively young, actually, because macaws can live up to 60 years old. On 4th of July weekend, after spending several days, like many of us did, inside due to the air quality alerts from the Canadian wildfires, the wildfires in Michigan, and all of that kept us from being able to go outside for prolonged periods without being in danger, Ari Drisman walked outside with his beloved pet macaw, get Cachette some fresh air, and Cachette launched into the air and flew into one of the nearby trees. After several calls from both Ari, who you're seeing here on the left and in the middle in that picture on their computer screen, as well as Gabby, for their beloved pet macaw to come back, the macaw then leaped into branches higher and higher into several different trees before finally what happens on 4th of July weekend happened on 4th of July weekend. Fireworks went off, and like many of our pets, spooked Cachette into the air, and they have not seen their beloved pet since. The good news in this situation, Dayan, is that they have heard from people that have sent them emails at rainbowcachette613@gmail.com that there have been some reports of seeing a bird of a similar description around town, and what they are saying is the chances are if you see any blue, green, yellow, orange, and black bird that looks like a macaw, and you're probably coming across the right one, and they want you to reach out and help them find their beloved pet by sending them emails with any tips, especially if you have pictures or locations of where the bird may be. Respectfully send those to rainbowcachette613@gmail.com. Rainbow Cachette, and Cachette is spelled Keshet 613@gmail.com, and reunite this family with their beloved pet macaw, who they have not seen since the 4th of July weekend. And Dayan, certainly our thoughts are with this family. We're wishing them the best. That's why we're bringing this up again, is to try to get the word out and help as best as we can get people information about this, and make sure that anybody that's tuning in to us, maybe in West Bloomfield area or traveling throughout the community, if they see a really interesting looking bird that looks like a macaw, that's not a native bird to the state of Michigan, Dayan. If you see this bird looks a little bit out of place compared to the other bird populations in our local area, that's because it's probably Cachette, and Ari Drisman and Gabby Aharonov would love to have their beloved pet come home.
It most probably is a macaw because, again, as you said, Tyler, how often do you see a macaw just flying around Michigan, right? So, yes, as you know, pets are family, and whoever sees Kushat, give this family a little bit of hope and help them track him down. I hope they find him before wintertime, because I don't know if macaws can survive Michigan winters. So I really hope they do, and I'm sure they will with the help of our beloved community. Yeah.
Plenty of good press coming their way, getting the word out. Our friends over at the Detroit Free Press, Neil Rubin, did a really great job with an article earlier on this week, all about Ari Drisman and Gabby Haranov's story with their trained macaw. You can check that out on the Detroit Free Press's website. That article actually from Sunday's edition of the Detroit Free Press. Go to freep.com and just look through the most recent articles, and you'll see the story from Neil Rubin about Ari Drisman and Gabby Haranov of West Bloomfield and their beloved pet macaw. Our thoughts with them. Again, if you have tips on where Cachette the macaw may be, rainbowcachette613@gmail.com. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side, a lot of fun and events coming to West Bloomfield Township over the next couple of weeks. We'll talk about the premier event of the summer in the art scene in the greater West Bloomfield community, the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, coming up this weekend. Stay tuned. You're watching and listening to the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Like what you see? Beautiful works of art, masterworks of metal, and accomplishments of artistry will be on display near you. All kinds of artists from all walks of life come together to celebrate their skill and appreciate their work's beauty. Hot Works presents the 2023 Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Stop by July 29th and 30th between 2 and 10 p.m. between Powers and Daly off of Orchard Lake Road.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. Plenty of fun happening all throughout the summer in the Greater West Bloomfield communities. We've already talked about some of the fun from West Bloomfield Parks, but there's a lot of fun right in the heart of West Bloomfield Township as you get into the town center district of the community this coming weekend. The Orchard Lake Fine Art Show moving into town this week, already off to a great start. The first thing they always do is put up the signs all throughout the community. On your screen, you're seeing it on CivicCenterTV.com today. Signs going up. We had one in Kegel Harbor. Here's one on Orchard Lake Road in West Bloomfield, telling you all about the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show just off of Orchard Lake Road, south of Maple Road on Powers and Daly Road. That's happening Saturday and Sunday, July 29th and July 30th in West Bloomfield Township. And of course, you can always find more information on hotworks.org. Signs all throughout the community have gone up advertising the event. Here's Patty Narozny, the executive director of the event. You know the show is getting close when Patty comes into town. She is here putting up signs in nearby neighborhoods, as you're seeing here, letting the neighborhoods know that are in the immediate area of Powers and Daly Road, and maybe use those roads as outputs to get to Orchard Lake or to get to Maple Road, that some of those roads are going to be closed. This is from a Facebook post from the West Bloomfield Township Police Department yesterday. Powers Road from Orchard Lake Road to Daly Road, and Daly Road from Powers to just north of the Chimney Hill neighborhood and Chimney Hill Drive near the Maple Orchard intersection will be closed July 28th through the 30th. That's the day before the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show through the end of the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show on Sunday in order to accommodate the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. During the closures, the detour route will be Orchard Lake Road to Maple Road and it'll be Orchard Lake Road to Maple to Daly Road, then the Chimney Hill Drive, and vice versa to get in and out of that Chimney Hill neighborhood. That's right behind Powers and Daly Roads, where the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show will be happening. It is physically on those roads over the course of July 29th and July 30th, with Friday preparations going into place with the West Bloomfield Police Department, as well as the Road Commission for Oakland County, all of whom have been heavily involved in making this happen each and every year. And the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show has obtained a permit from the Road Commission for Oakland County in order to close down those roads during that time period for these events. More information can be found on detours due to this event by going to the West Bloomfield Police Department on wbtownship.org or by visiting their Facebook page and learning more information as they post about this, and continue to keep the community informed about what's going on in terms of traffic updates due to the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. You can learn more about the art show by going to hotworks.org and learning more about all the different artists coming in from all around the world, from one of the top 100 juried art shows in America each and every year right here in West Bloomfield Township. Also, there's opportunities to volunteer at the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Not only can you go to the art show, enjoy some of the art, see art, love art, buy art, as the team at Hotworks says, you can also volunteer and help out a local community organization. The Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society is looking for volunteers to join them in their tent at the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show on both Saturday and Sunday this week. You'll help them manage their presentation table, pass out materials that explain some of the programs they have ongoing, ways people can get involved in the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society, and help them sell cash-only gifts from their gift shop, which helps to provide funds to support the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society's programs every single day. 2-hour shifts are available both on the Saturday and the Sunday of the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, including an early shift on Saturday to help set up and a late shift on Sunday to help tear down what they have in their tents on those 2 days. More information can be found on gwbhs.org, or send an email to snelsen, that's SNELSEN, at gwbhs.org. And Diane, that's not the only art coming to town. Some art actually going all throughout Oakland County just yesterday from the Detroit Institute of Arts. Tell us about that story.
Yeah, so in a vibrant celebration of art, Tyler, the Detroit Institute's Inside Out program has kicked off, and it's going to kick for its 14th year in Metro Detroit. They're bringing back all these beautiful DIA's popular work into our community and make it available for everybody. So they're bringing these collections to outdoor venues across Macomb, Wayne, and of course our beautiful Oakland County. From now until October, residents of these communities can immerse themselves in the beauty of these renowned artworks. Make sure you access their website at dia.org/events to know more about this event. But I think this is just a beautiful way to, they're offering these beautiful art pieces for everybody in the public and making our streets and our outdoors venues way much prettier. So that's also a beautiful opportunity. It's also the 14th year that this has been done by the DIA. It's called the Inside Out 2023. Check it out.
You can go to their website, again, as Diane said, dia.org. Check out their Inside Out link and find many of these other maps as you're seeing on the screen here of different locations in cities all throughout Oakland County as well as throughout the Tri-County area, all of which have many of these services provided by the DIA for free all throughout the year. And you can find more information on how to get access to that on dia.org. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side, plenty of services for your furry friends at home. Those pets that are, as we said, a big part of your family. From the Oakland County Animal Shelter and Pet Adoption Center, we'll have Joanie Toole from their team joining us next on the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff.
That's what white people think.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiver.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live. This is Dayan Chaaban alongside Tyler Kieft, and we have with us today a special guest from the Animal Shelter of Oakland County, Joanie Toole. Hello, Joanie. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for joining us, Joanie. Can you tell us a little bit about the free vaccination initiative that you guys have started recently?
Yes, we saw a need for this because during the pandemic, a lot of veterinarians closed down, and then you can only get in via appointment. So what we started to do was every Tuesday from 9 until 2, the vaccinations are available here at the shelter. If you purchase your dog's dog license, then you get the vaccination for free.
That's great. So I want to ask you, what types of vaccinations are being offered? Is it just rabies or just everything?
It's just the rabies, but we're also offering microchipping as well.
Oh, okay. That's incredible. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the rabies vaccination. So some people, and there's a lot of people that believe that these vaccinations should not be taken every single year or annually. And there's also, unfortunately, some fake news posted on some social media outlets that these vaccinations are hurting your pet friends. Now, what do you got to say about this? How can educating people about this can make the whole situation better for us and for our furry friends?
Well, I'm not a licensed veterinarian, so that's kind of out of my expertise. Now, I have heard some people, they will contact us not wanting to get the rabies vaccination, but to do a titer. Unfortunately, the state of Michigan doesn't recognize that, so that would have to be changed via our law system. But right now, you have to have the dog vaccinated for rabies at 4 months of age. Usually the first vaccine is for 1 year, and then after that, it's every 3 years. But I have had people contact us and want to just do a titer, but unfortunately, that's not what our state law says at the moment.
And yeah, I've heard about also, since you are informed about the Michigan state law regarding pets and owning pets, I also heard about the dog licensing. Now, how important is dog licensing? And I recently did it to my own dog, and I didn't know that they only need the rabies vaccination report. So how important is dog licensing, and why do we need it?
Well, the license is important because it shows that your dog is vaccinated for rabies. It's just proof of that. We sell a 1 year and we sell a 3 year to coincide with those rabies vaccinations. It's important because there are certain species that do carry rabies, especially bats. We've had a cat come back recently positive. So you have to be careful if your animal isn't vaccinated. So it's highly important because once they show the symptoms, it's too late.
Absolutely, and some people assume that we do the rabies vaccination just for our own safety, but it's for both our furry friends and our own safety because, again, as you said, we do have a lot of wildlife happening in Michigan, so we don't want our furry friends to be affected. Are there any certain numbers, like if a person has more than one dog, are they allowed to vaccinate all of them for free at the Oakland County shelter? Or is there a limited amount of number of pets?
No, there's no limit. As long as you purchase the dog license, then you get the rabies for free.
That's great. And how long will this vaccination initiative run for, and how can people find more information about that?
Well, we're going to run it as long as we possibly can. And if you want more information, you can visit our website at oakgov.com/petadoption.
Now, Joanie, I talked to you yesterday a little bit about the no-kill initiative that has been started by Diane Reeves recently back in these past couple of weeks. And you told me our shelter is doing the best they can, but I understand that shelters can never do this alone. So what are some tips or like some advices you tell to us, the people, that can help the shelter make it a no-kill shelter, help these animals live and get adopted?
A wonderful question. I'm glad you asked that. The first thing, if you want to adopt a pet, the best thing is to look at your local shelters. We have such a variety of animals to adopt. The next thing would be research your breeds. Make sure whatever breed that you choose is going to fit into your lifestyle. If you are a couch potato, you really don't want a high energy breed like a Husky or Jack Russell. Those dogs require a lot of walking and a lot of attention. I know a lot of people probably have a misperception about owning pets. It's not easy. And I think a lot of people forget about that. You've got to train it to potty train and to be social and all of that. That all goes into making a wonderful pet that you're going to want to keep. Remember, this is a commitment for at least 15 years. Sometimes less with the bigger breeds, but at least 15 years. But another thing you can do, please spay and neuter your pets. We don't need any more puppies. Trust me, we've got enough dogs here. And please spay and neuter your pets. It's very important.
Plenty of pets in our community that are looking for a lovely home, and people looking to bring pets into their home. A great place to start is the Oakland County Animal Shelter and Pet Adoption Center. Joanie, thank you so much for joining us and telling us about these services provided for dog owners, but also a little bit more about all the services that you provide for pets right here in our local area.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Glad to have you on. 248-858-1070, 248-858-1070 is the phone number for the Oakland County Pet Adoption Center. You can also get in contact with Animal Control at 248-858-1090. Appointments at Oakland County's Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center for the pet adoption side can be found from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. by calling them or sending an email to petadoption@oakgov.com. And again, those free vaccinations for your dogs are Tuesdays. You get a free vaccine, free rabies shot with a dog license purchase from 9 a.m. until 12 noon. That is going to do it for today's edition of the Splash Live. Always thank you for tuning in. You can stay with us all throughout the morning until right around 1 o'clock for the latest news and information each and every day. Join us live beginning at 8:30 Monday through Friday every single week, where myself, Dayan Chaaban, Dave Scott, and other members of our team will give you the latest updates on everything happening in the Greater West Bloomfield community. Always something happening in Greater West Bloomfield, and we'll be there for you each and every day to give you the latest right here on the Splash Live.